All right. Can you guys hear me? Is this gonna work? I have never done anything like this before, so we're gonna have some fun. What's up, guys? What's up? My name's David. Thanks for tuning in. I've never done a live stream before. In fact, I hate being on camera for the most part. But I wanted to give it a shot. I always wanted to do like a live Q&A, and I just wanted to go through my game and just get to know you guys, because I'm kind of a lurker. Like I hate being in front of the camera. I hate like doing talks and all that stuff, but I do love connecting with gamers and game developers. That's like my favorite thing. So, hey, how's it going? I got my chat window right here. Yeah, can you hear me okay? Is it working? Is it choppy? I'm getting error messages in the live streaming studio thing on YouTube, but I'm thinking it's working. Just let me know in the chat. But yeah, I had like a few hours free on this Saturday during this pandemic quarantine, so thought it'd be fun just to play my game, answer questions, talk game development, show you a lot of Easter eggs that I've never like shown other people, because I made the first tree and it really was like, it was just a hobby thing. And oh, thank you. Yeah, nice setup. Okay, loud and clear. Cool. But yeah, I made this game and it was just totally a hobby project. Like I didn't expect, like I had made a game before that called Home is Where One Starts. And it did okay. Like it was a hobby project to teach me how to use Unity and to finish a project. And then I made the first tree and I was getting like, okay, that was fun. Like I was burnt out after the first game, but then I said, hey, let's go up a step larger and see what happens. So I started to market it better, and it took like a couple years to make, but I never expected it to get as big as it did, which is really flattering. And now like I get emails and questions every day from people, so I wanted to do this live stream and just get to know you guys. But it sounds like everything's good. Works here. Yeah, like I've always been like a lurker on the internet. Like even when I made mods for old games, like when I was in middle school, I would never post. I would only post to show the stuff I made, because that was the most rewarding part. But like people talking just to talk, it's hard for me. But it's cool talking to people who share common interests, and also I'm flattered people even want to look at me play my game in the first place. But I'll try to make it entertaining. I'll try to like show funny Easter eggs I don't think people have ever found. And I'm going to 100% the game. And there's a super secret ending that I checked the Steam achievements, and I think it was like 0.01% of people got the secret ending. So I'm going to try to do it. I'm also going to use a special debug mode to like, I might speed it up. I use this for testing and when I'm reporting the consoles. And the debug mode just makes you go like 1,000,000 miles per hour. So that might make it like, because it's a slower game, right? It's a slower paced game. And I did that on purpose. I wanted it to be like a stop and smell the flowers and just take in the ambiance. But also like it doesn't make for the most exciting live streams. I can't say like I got people like PewDiePie or Markiplier like lining up to play my game. And that's okay. Like it's not that kind of game, but it is fun. It's a perfect game to like chat and talk while we go through it. So yeah, I'll be looking at the chat window. I guess we can get started. How do you say your name? Ike? E-I-K-E. Yeah, I do make a living. And it didn't start off like that, and it always was a hobby. And I always treated it like that. And that's why like I kind of started this new YouTube channel, Game Dev Unlocked. Because I was just making a game while working full time, and also like I had just had like a new baby, and like life was insane. And so I never expected it to be my full-time job. And I actually had a job I really liked. I was working at a VR company called The Void, and I was a technical artist there. But like as my workload on my hobby became more and more like intense, I decided to quit my job and just be a full-time indie dev. And so that's when I was able to really focus on that. Happened right after my console releases, because my Steam release did pretty good, and it was on the front page for 5 days, and that was in 2017. But it's still like, even after the taxes and the refund rate and the value added tax for European sales, like it was like, it wasn't as much as as you would think. So that's why, like, I put that money I earned into the console ports, and then I paid an awesome studio in London called Do Games, and they're like, I owe a lot to them. It was actually Thomas Brush. Do you know Thomas Brush? He has an awesome YouTube channel. Thomas Brush was the one that referred them to me, so I owe a lot to Thomas. He's like one of my good friends when it comes to the game development world. But yeah, I'm a full-time indie developer. This is my job. This is my office. Yeah, it's funny. Like during the quarantine, during the pandemic, like my life hasn't changed that much because I'm still like working at home all the time, which is a whole other story. I won't get into that. But anyway, yeah, let's just get going. I'll just check the chat. And if you guys have any questions, just please let me know. And I told you I'm going to be playing like special debug version of the game, so we'll see how it works. All right. Now let me know if you can hear the game, and now let's see how this goes. Where's the game? There it is. So, yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, Thomas Brush, he's like one of my favorite guys ever. He's so good on the camera, but he's also like a brilliant programmer and artist. I look up to him a lot. He's like one of the few, again, like I've told you, like I'm pretty introverted. I don't like talking to a ton of people. But Thomas Brush is like the only game developer who's in my phone. Like we've talked before. He's really awesome. Yeah. All right, this is the special debug menu. Came in handy when it's like you're testing a slow game. So now with this enabled, I can go really fast when I want to. So can you guys hear it okay? Is it too loud or am I too loud? Just tell me in the comments. Could you guys let me know in the comments if you've played this game before? I don't know like how much context to give.
Are you awake? I thought I heard you get up.
Yeah, I'm awake. Sorry, I just can't sleep.
Are you thinking about him?
Yeah, a bit. Usually get back to sleep, my love. I'm fine.
No, it's okay. What else is on your mind?
I don't know. It seems weird, but I had one of the most vivid dreams of my life. I saw a fox on a snowy mountain, just looking confused and worried. Those eyes. I can't get those eyes out of my head. She was running in the windy snow, looking for something.
Do you think it has to do with you and what's been going on?
I don't know. It was just a dream, Rachel. They're not meant to make sense. A lot's happened the past couple days, that's all.
Well, if you're not going to sleep anyway, you should tell me. I want to hear.
All right.
I just realized like you're gonna be hearing me twice because I do the voice acting in this game with my wife Elise, which she's taking a nap right now. She's pregnant with our third child, which is pretty crazy. So she's tired all the time. But yeah, I'm trying to decide. Like she could come say hi if there's like any like big fans of the game who'd like to meet Elise. I'm a big fan of her, obviously, but yeah, I'm trying to decide like how much I should talk because I'm gonna be talking in the game and also be talking with the commentary. It really is like this game was like a do-it-yourself project. Like I borrowed audio equipment. I didn't want to hire an actor because it was just I wanted to keep it personal and keep it for me. And of course, like that means like my voice acting is not the best. Like if you look at the Steam reviews, they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, the woman Rachel did great, but the main character Joseph not so great." And that's okay. All right.
So, not far from her home, she followed that path to something unexpected.
So, for those who haven't played the game, there's two parallel stories, and it's one of this fox going through loss, and also of these
Couldn't
people.
stay though. She had to find her other two children. So she took that path. She followed it towards something ancient. Something with answers.
Visible wall right there. So I wanted to draw two parallels between two unlikely stories, because at the end, they kind of intertwine in an unexpected way. And that was the goal of all this. Like, how can two completely different creatures, go through the same type of loss?
Fox looked high and low, searching for any sign of her cubs. Points of light showed the way to this ancient tree. It was as if each one had a story to tell, all their own. The land was trying to tell my story, too. I felt like I was right behind her the whole time.
A lot of people commenting. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Ryan? Jesse McAdams, we used to work together. And then Robert Wright, he's friends with a lot of my friends from The Void. Good to hear from you guys. Thanks for tuning in. So, before I get to too deep into the game, I wanted to share a funny Easter egg. It's something that happens if you see. I'm going really fast. This is my debug mode I was telling you guys about. So if I touch all 16 rabbits, something happens, and it's kind of funny. And the only way to know if you've touched them all is just they squeak. That's the only way I did it. Okay, so what's that? That's 5. Let's zoom out. We're gonna do it fast so we don't waste too much time. Sometimes I go too fast. They're just barely slower than you. And I don't even know if I got it or not. I think that's all 3. Was that 3 squeaks? Now, you also notice, and I'll get into it later, I wanted to show you guys this funny Easter egg. And that means gotta go all over. It takes forever, but hopefully this speeds it up a bit. But this started because I have a test level, and it's where, it's where I would do all the, mechanics, testing the jump mechanics, and it was just so it would load fast. It was just my test scene in Unity. And I see one of the questions, what programming language did you use? I am the worst programmer in the world. In fact, I can't really program. Okay, there should be one bunny around here. Okay, I got that one. And it's just really hard for me to program. I come from an art and design background. And so that's why, when I found Unity, I was like, oh, this is cool, this is easy to understand, but then everyone's like, well, you need to know C#. I was like, what's C#? I don't know what that is. It sounds not easy. Come on. Is that all of them? Nope. So we'll know if that's all of them because a giant bunny will appear. And I'll go into a bit of that in a little bit. There should be a couple more bunnies around here. There we are. Yep, that's it, Easter Bunny. I think the my face is blocking the Steam achievement. But I think there's 15 to 16 bunnies. And I just did this as kind of an Easter egg for people on Twitter and Imgur and Reddit, because when I was talking about that test level, right? We're gonna go to it. During my test level, I was practicing the bunny, herd sim asset I bought off the Unity asset store. And then you can that's how you instantiate all these different birds. These birds right here is from Herd Sim, which is again is a $20 Unity asset. And I was testing the bunnies, and then as I looked behind me, there was like a giant bunny this size right here. And I took a like a little screen capture, made a GIF of that, and I posted it on Twitter and Reddit and Imgur because I thought it was funny. I just said stress testing the bunny herds with unforeseen consequences, and it went so viral. It like on Twitter, it got like, I don't know, 5 figures of retweets and likes, I think. David Bowie's son retweeted it on Twitter, and it got on the front page of Reddit. And so I wanted to put this in here because everyone, like, I had thousands of people on Reddit saying, you need to put this in the game. I was like, okay, you got it. So here's an Easter egg, and when you touch the Easter egg, something happens. This is my test level. And it was never meant for people to really go in here. And this is like where I put, the game is so serious. This is where I put all of like the stupidest stuff I could imagine. And it was like, actually it was a lot of fun. These rats are supposed to run away from you. That like came with the herd sim asset. And this is like the cows. And I just say stupid stuff just because for my own amusement. Oh, they're pushing me. I have purposely programmed this cow to be broken. I am a vengeful god. Here's like the bunny herds I was messing around with. What's a super secret Easter egg? So I say, touch every bunny and something crazy happens. No, nothing happens. Please don't do it. And I don't know if anyone's actually done it, but if you do touch, there's like 150 bunnies. If you touch them all, there's a super loud explosion sound and big text that says, I told you not to touch every bunny. It's really loud. Like it can almost like hurt your ears. So I'm not going to bore you guys trying to do that. But that does happen. Huge explosion sound. This is like, came from a Cinema Director Unity asset. Just dancing robots. I basically I wanted this to be like a super secret Easter egg that the game is serious, and the first tree is about me dealing with loss, about like losing my father at a young age, or like in 2010 actually. And I wanted to put all those feelings into a serious game, but also I'm not like a super serious guy. Like I'm pretty goofy. You can ask my friends. I'm not like a super sobering, like melancholy person, but. And this is like, that's the fast walk, left trigger, P. You can do it in this test level only. But I have the debug mode on, so I can do it in all the levels. And that's pretty much it. I thought it was pretty funny. Like I would test like the rigid body character controllers and stuff. Like I would, and this is when I found out like some of the physics in Unity. Like you can go so high if you go at a diagonal. So if you go in like left to right or right left and then double jump at the right time, you can get lots really big air. And so that is the debug level. I think there's even supposed to be like water right here. I don't know if it works. No, the water's over there. But anyway. All right, I got to check out your guys' comments. So yeah, you guys are asking about programming language. I use Playmaker. It's not quite visual scripting, but it's basically, it's like Blueprints in Unreal is visual scripting. This is technically, it's a finite state machine, but to me it's like a visual representation to create like interactive elements. And for me that was like, it was godsend. Like I could actually see the interactions I was making. And you could do things like, and you're like, because at the end of the day, like games aren't that hard. Like they're not that complicated. Like they are complicated, but usually it's like, I don't know. The creator of Duke Nukem once said like, all a game is like spawning enemies and destroying players, and that's it. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. And then in the first tree, it's really simple because it was a one-man team. That's me. And it's basically just triggers. Like it's just box colliders that you run into. Here's the exit. We're going to start the game for real. And like there's voiceovers and there's the story and there's exploration, but that's not like the most complicated thing in the world. So yeah, does that make sense? Like Playmaker, which is like a $60 asset for Unity. Like it allowed me to make games. Like it's that simple. So I'm really grateful for it. And those guys made that plugin. They're lifesavers. Oh yeah, thanks Rexy. It's cool. Like I can inspire people because it doesn't feel like that. I feel like still like kind of like an imposter syndrome, which is a real thing. But I've realized with all the people like emailing me and like when I spoke at GDC, which was like a crazy thing I never expected to happen. Like yeah, I want to like help other people because there was lots of people that helped me, like Thomas Brush. Like he answered my emails at a long time ago, and I was just asking him questions, and he answered all my questions because he's a really nice guy. So that's what I'm trying to do now, is because people are asking me like, how did you make a game without knowing how to code and with a full-time job and with kids? And so that's why I started Game Dev Unlocked. So if you guys want to subscribe for more videos, that'd be awesome. Okay, I'm not gonna talk during this.
Are you awake? I thought I heard you get up.
Yeah, I'm awake. Sorry, I just can't sleep.
Are you thinking about him?
Yeah, a bit. Usually get back to sleep, my love. I'm fine.
No, it's
Prophecy
okay.
64 is my brother.
What else is on your mind?
He's a good guy.
I don't know. It seems weird, but I had one of the most vivid dreams of my life.
Some mad air.
I saw a fox on a snowy mountain, just looking confused and worried.
Oh, I jumped over the colliders.
I can't get those eyes out of my head.
Stupid.
She was running in the windy snow, looking for something.
Do you think it has to do with you and what's been going on?
Yeah,
I don't know.
This stream is
It was
going to
just
be
a dream, Rachel.
permanent
They're
clip.
not meant
You
to
guys
make
can watch
sense.
later.
A lot's happened.
So if you got stuff to do,
that's all.
come back and hit the replay
well,
button.
If you're not going to sleep anyway,
All right.
you should tell me. I want to hear.
All right.
I'm going to talk for a little bit longer. It's got to catch up.
She couldn't stay, though. She had to find her other 2 children. So she took that path. She followed it towards something ancient. Something with answers, high and low, searching for any sign of her cubs. Points of light showed the way to this ancient tree. It was as if each one had a story to tell, all their own. The land was trying to tell my story, too. I felt like I was right behind her the whole time. As a kid, did you ever do show and tell in your class?
Yeah, I think I only did it once, when I was in the 4th grade. You know how my life was around then. I wanted to show my class what helped pass the time and distracted me. So I brought a dozen paper cranes I had made. I think I told everyone how badly I wanted to be a bird and fly, embarrassingly enough.
Don't be embarrassed.
Okay,
Every kid wants the
super secret item right here.
For me, it was another toy from my dad, a wooden boat.
I can find it.
I remember guarding it so carefully in my hands as I walked into class.
There we go.
When I sat down, a group of boys immediately made fun
Broken
of me.
vase.
They asked which trash can I found it in, or why an ugly log was my favorite toy. When I got up, I didn't even want to tell them my dad had carved it. I said it was a joke gift my friend had given me.
Kids can be so cruel.
Some of them are. I shouldn't have let them get to me, but it did. It's amazing we bounced back at all. He was kind of the manly man type, but one thing that still surprises me is
The
his
audio
basic
keeps going because I'm going so
Some guys
fast
collect shot
doing the
glasses at all
items.
different
You're supposed to
places
like
they were stationed at.
supposed to listen to like
My
the
dad
dialogue
wanted
as you
jars
explore
and
the
pots.
landscape, but
I think underneath his rough
wanna
appearance, he was gentle.
we already
He
done
admired
this level, so I want to get through it
craftsmanship
fast.
above all else. He never talked about the places he was stationed at, but he loved talking about how unique each piece of pottery was. Usually those kids
Normally
would
you're supposed to
leave me
jump
alone.
over there.
Somehow
I'm just
they
doing
could
it the
tell
cheap
I
way.
was different. They made fun of how far away I lived. They called my dad a
No!
sourdough. I was a blabbermouth as a
Need to
kid,
get that last star.
telling my dad stories I made up for hours. But after that show and tell, I didn't tell him much anymore. He didn't know exactly.
I get all the
what was
stars because I'm
wrong,
going to show you
but
guys
his
the
best guess
super
was the
super
toys he
secret
carved
ending.
weren't cool enough. He carved me a tank and tried to tell me what it was like to be in a real tank as a serviceman.
I didn't know your dad was in the military.
3 cubs
Yeah,
aren't...
in the army. The sad thing is that
They're not like...
pretty much forgotten.
I wanted them to be
just now.
separate from me.
There's so much I still
So
don't
like,
know.
they're not... The fox isn't
I'm
me.
sorry.
The cubs
He
aren't my
knows
kids.
how much you love him. You're going to see him again soon.
But they are like...
and have some closure.
We share similarities, and that was important. That was an important part for me. Okay, I stopped talking finally. But I'm gonna start talking again.
Do you remember what my dad did for a living?
Wasn't he like a lumberjack?
That's one way of putting it. If wood was a canvas, then a carving knife
The
was his
fox
paintbrush.
does not have a name,
Even after working
and I kind of
50
did that on
hours,
purpose
even after his
because
hands
a
were more
big
splinters than
big
stone,
theme of this
he
game
would bring home the nicest piece
is
of
that
lasting
there's these
loop and cedar
strangers
and make
that are
me
going through
toys.
hard things,
That
which you
wooden
find out by
train
the
was
end of the
first
game,
toy I can remember,
which
and
I don't
loved
want
it.
to... I don't know
just
who
knew from a
here's
young
played the
age
full
I was
game,
going to
but
be
there's an
a
important,
lumberjack,
really
like
unique
my
part
father.
that involves the internet at the end, about strangers connecting in unexpected ways. So that's like, I wanted the fox to be kind of like an unknown entity, and so the fox does not have a name. And even though like this is a surreal, like, you know, like fantastical world, like the colors and like there's like abandoned objects, like it's very dreamlike. And again, that was on purpose. And I wanted that because like I wanted it to just be like, is this a dream? Is this real? And then that kind of ties into the end of the game.
The older I got, the more I withdrew. I asked myself, why talk to anybody anyway? Why bother when I'm happy by myself? I started drawing a lot, mostly animals I saw in the woods by
Voiceover,
my home.
man, I don't know.
I
I'm not an
imagined
actor.
designing my own hideouts.
And
with
again,
things
I like-
TVs and pantries.
I did it all
with chips and
anyway.
cookies. I think that idea.
But
of
it probably
leaving
took,
home
I don't
and
know, it
drawing
probably took 2
blueprints
days.
Started my
But
career.
it took like weeks to
found a
write
lot of
that I was
solace
happy
in
with
that.
it.
I'm not surprised. But I did the
Yeah,
same
this-
thing, you know?
This character Rachel,
There's
that's
something
my wife,
special about having
Elise.
a place to call your own.
I wanted this to be a very
Now look
personal
at us.
game, and I
Well,
thought the best
you
way to
count
do that
renting
would
in
be
an
what
overpriced
if
city.
I did the voices, and Elise
as
did the
close as we
game,
can
did the
get for
voices for
now.
my first game actually. Okay, we're almost got all the stars in this. So I'm collecting all the stars. Oh man. I'm collecting all the stars because if you dig up every item in the game, dig up one super secret item, which I did up there, if you remember, dug that up, and you collect all 150 stars, you get a super secret ending. And I actually hired a voice actor for this super secret ending, and I really think like less than 1% of people who've played the game have gotten this ending, so I wanted to show it to you guys. I figure it's been long enough, like, the game came out in 2017, don't need to like keep these super secrets close to my heart anymore. Okay, I think, see this is like the normal running speed. Okay, I think that's it. There's supposed to be 30 stars, and I think I got them all. Alright, let's go. Level 2. This is the Chartreux Plains or something. Chartreuse. Chartreuse is like a yellow-green color, so all the levels are based off colors. Alright. So the landscape and tree placement, it's like... I should be like looking at your chat more. So I'm getting like, it's hard to multitask. I've never done this before. The landscape and tree placement is just the default Unity terrain editor. And again, that was a thing that people told me all the time. Like, you can't do that. You can't release a game. It's so unoptimized. If you do that, you won't be able to port to consoles. Just a lot of judgmental opinions, which I think for computer programmers, it kind of is second nature. Like, if you look at like all the jokes about Stack Overflow, like, there's always the wrong way to do things, right? And I've based my career off not doing things the right way. I scramble and I just do whatever I can because I just want to release a game. I don't want to be like this computer programming god or anything. And I think that kind of surprised people. Like, I don't know if that happens a lot. And I think it's inspiring. Like, you can make a game. It won't be the right way. It'll probably be a lot of broken things in it. But yeah, I used the Unity terrain editor, and I used Playmaker, stuff like if you were to port to consoles, people would say, don't do that. That's totally the wrong way to do it. It's gonna break everything.
My teenage years
And it worked out
were full
fine.
of sketching, angst, and trouble. I wasn't popular or unpopular. Maybe just forgettable. I guess that gave me a sense of freedom. So I hung out with crazy kids, doing crazy things, even though I mostly just watched the chaos.
Some secret items.
We did it all.
Thought I did.
Fireworks in mailboxes, hide roadkill in people's garages, break windows,
Supposed
the
to be, like,
barber shop, and
Items
Anchorage.
everywhere hidden.
My dad was furious, but he was so busy working he couldn't do much to stop me from going out.
I think being an adult means there's no
Couple
one to
hats.
stop you making hard decisions.
Hats from the father.
He had to make a living, and he couldn't be in two places at once.
Yeah, I realize that now.
Security camera.
But at the time, I
Cop
was sure he
station.
was more interested in growing his business than what was going on with me.
So the music, again, like, I didn't do it the right way. I licensed stock music from places like pond5.com and Audio Jungle. Ah, there's one more star hiding in the grass. And again, like every game developer out there, they hire like a really amazing composer, and gotta turn up the sensitivity. They hire a composer, it costs 5 figures in cash, and I didn't have that. This was just a hobby project. I wasn't gonna spend like $20,000 on a composer. I couldn't. So like I wanted to finish a game, so I said, well, what's the next way to do that? I'll license stock music. Stock music means you can use that music for anything, and it means like everybody like can use it, and it's free to everybody. You just gotta buy the license. I swear there's a star right there, but we'll come back to it. So what you could do right now is you could go find this music by the amazing, talented Josh Kramer. And he put all of his music on Pond 5, and I found it. I was like, man, this music's gorgeous. And he's like this guy from Tennessee who moved to Turkey, the country Turkey, recently. And I just couldn't stop listening to his music. Like I'd find it, and I'd find it on Spotify, and I just listen to it in the car over and over again. And I'd have these story ideas pop up. And now here's the real kicker. The songs were like $50 each to license. So with that license, I could pay $50, and I have this gorgeous music, and then I can sell a game with his music in it. So it's pretty amazing. So Josh Kramer, yeah, you guys should look him up on Spotify. His music's amazing. All the music except for 2 songs are done by him.
Night, and my friends were over, saying how bored they were and how they had come all the way out to my house for nothing. One of them mentioned how that old, ugly beyond belief truck was still in the garage, and how we should take it for a spin. I was only 15, so I kind of fought it for a while.
Okay, we're gonna get
The next thing I knew, we were careening around the mountain path, rocks spitting onto the sides of the cliff, while my dad's cringeworthy bluegrass blared out the speakers. I drove while my friends were in the back of that yellow and purple truck, throwing beer bottles and trash at anything remotely interesting. Felt like I was soaring in the air with borrowed wings. But all good things have endings. A cop outside of Eagle River pulled us over after he saw us in a bottle rocket into
I can
someone's
do it
yard.
without the butterflies.
What followed was a long night of talking to disappointed adults and feeling smaller than ever.
I think I got all the stars here. And like these stories, these little vignettes you hear in the game, this is like a fictional game. Like some of this stuff hasn't happened to me, or it happened to friends I know, but it wasn't. Some stuff, I don't know, it's a mix, and it's a combination of things. So yeah, like these little stories, like it's like a fictionalized version of me and my life, pretty much. Yeah. It's good not to stress over the details. But yeah, that happens a lot in game development and in programming in general. And to me, I was like, oh yeah, here's a little like hint to find the super secret items I've been telling you about. It says barbershop. That's right. So if you go by the barbershop sign, that's where you'll find the super secret item that I've been talking about. So there's 5 of those super secret items in total, 150 stars. And I think... I cannot remember. I think there's 16 normal story items. I cannot remember. Might be 20 or something. Here's a story item.
After he drove me home from the police station, I blew up at him, saying how I never wanted to be like him. I was going to be someone and leave that hick icebox.
Made it in Maya.
I just looked forward at the road with tired eyes. I took out that bluegrass tape from the cassette deck and chucked it out the window. In my sage teenage wisdom, I thought I proved the ultimate point. But my dad
not supposed to get up that way. But
he slammed the brakes.
I've been saying like my game's not perfect, and the mechanics they're not perfect. They actually can break really easily.
All he said.
It's another reason why
polite request
like picking a game
was
that you can that's easy and that's not like
I sat there in silence.
An impossible thing to
got
do.
Out and combed every square inch of the woods. Muttering profanity.
Like it's important to like pick something so simple because honestly, you're probably gonna have to cut your game idea in half anyway.
Off the road. I went back to the truck.
Oh, I got it.
Put the
supposed to need the butterfly for that.
And sure enough, it worked.
Actually, I don't need that yet.
We didn't speak another word to each other the rest of the night.
I'm getting most of the stars.
Wow, I knew you were a crazy teenager.
Let's get the super secret
it's hard
item.
To believe, isn't it? Surprises me too. It's like I didn't really know who that kid was back then.
Making a game, I
bet my dad thought the same thing.
I have a very strong opinion.
It's almost like
that
he was
you should be focused.
Right
like just release a game, even if it's not perfect. So here's like the only big hint of these super secret items that there's smaller items near it and there's no grass.
I miss that time in life when you didn't have to wear the right clothes,
secret notebooks,
like the right things in school.
Very few people have probably seen those.
Class liked what was important to them, even if it was wooden boats or cartoon animal notebooks.
Let's get some. I think we're getting close to all the stars. I think there's a star in the middle of this. Maybe not. So, yeah, like that's a big thing I want to like talk about in these future videos I make for Game Dev Unlocked is that there is like no wrong way to finish and release a game. Like I think having a finished game is infinitely more important than doing it the right way, and then no one ever played it in the first place because you're too much perfectionist. So I'm just a huge believer in just starting small. Like my first game, Home is Where One Starts, I'm glad I made that one first because again, like it's not perfect, and like I just needed to like know that I could finish something. So if I jump, the butterflies will reset. So this is kind of a puzzle. It also like stumps a ton of people, which makes me feel bad.
My friends would laugh about that night.
Got a little voice
talk about how crazy it was, and I laughed
Ninja
along,
Knight?
pretending it didn't bother me, but it did.
I'm not much of a VR. Like I worked at the Void, funny enough, and I got my fill of like the best VR in the world.
Godforsaken ice fields.
So like doing at-home VR,
those
like
mountains were a literal wall.
I don't know. I'm just. I loved the Void, working on Star Wars and Ghostbusters.
And evening beers.
I'm gonna screw this up.
I had to climb over. That was my only goal for a long time.
Shoot, I am missing stars. Freak. Oh, I know where they are. Okay, I'm gonna speed up so you don't have to wait this whole time. I think there's 2 stars up here. And normally, like, you're supposed to, like... I think, actually, maybe you can go up right here. Oh, see, here's more hidden items. A banjo. Something the father of Joseph played. I think if you can go up here... Yes. Ah, there's 1 star, though. Shoot. Where is it? Okay, we're gonna look really fast, because I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. I think there's 1 star that's missing somewhere. I think I checked right here. Where would it be? I thought there was a star like, that was in the grass, but maybe I got it without thinking. It's supposed to be 60 stars by the time we exit the level. I'm really glad I put the debug mode on, or else... like, I know, like, the game's not... You know, it's not super Oh, there it is! Yes! Forgot about that one. This game's not meant to be like super exciting, like Super Meat Boy or something like that, but that makes it hard to stream. Because it is like, it's supposed to be reflective and poignant and calm, and some people need a game like that, and so I'm glad the game is what it is. But yeah, to stream it, it's kind of hard. Although I have had big streamers try my game, which was insane. I got anxiety. All right, I'm gonna do a little trick. Normally you're supposed to need the butterflies, but again, I told you, the game, I don't want to say it's broken, because I knew what it was before I released it, but it is a solo effort by a person who's not a really good programmer. But what I hope is that it makes up for it in heart. And that's like the best I can do, is share a good story.
If there was some way I could take my love of drawing and turn it into a way of escape, nothing would make me happier. I wanted to create instead of tearing trees down. I wanted to move to the lower 48, not because I hated it there in Alaska, but I hated the idea of it. It's like all of that spite inside me had created this monster which followed me around my whole teenage
See
years.
the first tree in the distance?
I put so much energy into doing what others didn't expect of me. Why did I do that?
There's one
I'm sorry
fact
about
you're
that
forgetting.
butterfly part.
If you didn't have that,
I probably should have made
fire
that
in you,
level, this
we
level,
probably would have never met.
like level 4, just to
You're
like ease
absolutely
into
right.
it a little better.
Maybe the
But for me, I was
destination is
so
all that
used to
matters
like
in
the
end.
controller physics. Like I was like,
Then
oh, this is so
why am I
easy.
awake?
Like you don't
Why
even
am I
need the
seeing
butterflies
this
to get up
fox
that
go on her
cliff.
And why can't
But
I stop thinking about
I've
my
had
dad?
so many complaints about this level, and I'm kind of sorry about it. So at this point in the game, like I'm going really fast. This is probably the longest part, this level. This is level 3. It's more open world. I probably have another hour and a half left to beat it. And I might use like the debug super fast mode just so we're not waiting too long. Yeah, I'm glad you got it. Cause yeah, like having that part as level 2, that was pretty bold of me. The butterflies. And I almost like at one point, this game was not supposed to have any puzzles whatsoever, which is kind of weird to think about. But as you guys know, like I was really influenced by Journey on PlayStation, and then Firewatch, which I absolutely loved. And I wanted it to be like pure exploration, but since the fox moves so slow sometimes, and then like the environments can be so big, I wanted like to have some kind of element. And even to this day, like I'm not totally sure if that was the right call. My first game, Home is Where One Starts, it is like there's no gameplay. It's exploration. You're walking around, you're piecing together a story. And I love games like that. I know not everyone does. Like for me, when I played Dear Esther or Gone Home, those games like meant the world to me. They just blew my mind, and I was so enthralled. It also might have to do with I'm older now, and I just don't have time to like 100% Dark Souls. I just like the best I can do is like play a short story game like Inside or What Remains of Edith Finch. Like I love those games. Those are some of my favorite games of all time, but they're short. Okay, that was a little puzzle. I did that in Playmaker, that interactive stuff. If you go to the Playmaker website, they actually have a screenshot of that system I programmed. But the trick is just that little small light when it goes into the stone to just press A. It's a timing mini game. That's all it is. And again, that was something like I wasn't sure if I should add that. Oh, there might be stars around here. But I don't know. For those who've played it, did the puzzles frustrate you? Did they detract from the exploration and the story? Like, I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. Yeah, I love Firewatch. Yeah, this level is big. But yeah, I love how the first tree is like, it's slow. And I love how, like, you have to just take your time and listen to music. But it also, it filled me with a lot of doubt. And, like, you can ask my brothers. I have 2 brothers, and they helped me a lot with testing and with bouncing off feedback. And they actually came with me to PAX West when I showed it in 2017, which was a dream come true. I got to be in the indie mega booth, which blows my mind. And, like, I would just standing on my feet for 8 hours a day and, like, selling my game and saying how great it is and how they should buy it. It was complete opposite of my personality, and I hated doing it. Although here's the thing, I love talking to the people and, like, talking to other developers. Like, I loved it so much I want to do it again, but, like, talking about how great my game is the hardest thing for me, because I think a part of me doesn't believe it. And so I was really scared to release my game. And, like, I'd get emails, like, I started giving the game out to journalists right before launch. And I got one of the meanest emails of my life, like, 2 days before launch. And I really, like, some people had played it, but they never, like, played it by themselves and given me honest opinions. Because if you're at a convention and you're asking someone, oh, how's the game? Oh, yeah, it was great. That's just, like, the polite thing to do. Little guitar. This is, like, items from Joseph's life and also his father's life. And they're abandoned, just to add to, like, the dreamlike state of this world. So anyway, about, like, PAX West and stuff, like, I loved that experience, but it was hard for me to, like, love my game and show it off to people. And so anyway, like, that meanest email I got before launch, like, that was really, it was hard to hear that. It almost, like, sent me down to a spiral of depression, because I'd spent 2 years working on this game, and just somebody said, wow, that was really bad. Like, the jumping is horrible. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but this game is not going to succeed. And I hated that email. But I kind of, like, a part of me kind of believed it too. And then it was just amazing to see it do so well on launch day. It shocked me.
Tested him the most. He kept reaching out.
What's up, Harris 3D Studio? Thanks for checking it out.
When we were going camping, I thought he was
so yeah,
just dense.
I hope that answers your question.
Eventually, to shut him
Galloy.
up, I agreed.
I thought it wouldn't work. I thought people wouldn't get it.
And set up a cinder block campfire.
But yeah, I learned a lot
used
from what people want in a game.
We walked down the mountain path, talking in the warm sunshine we only got a couple months of the year. Those 3 obsidian rocks shimmered alongside the shore, almost like sparklers pressed against a dark window. I'll never forget that wet stone on my feet, or how those massive mountains looked even bigger in the lake's reflection. I felt
What's up, Spencer?
But grateful.
Man, I'm getting, like, my old co-workers here.
My dad found something I hadn't
Spencer,
seen for
Jesse,
a long time.
Ryan McAdams was just here too. Good to see you, man.
I hadn't even carved it. My dad had helped me, but I still called it my tree. Something about seeing my name there made me open up, and we talked about everything that night in that old camouflage tent. I told him how much I loved sketching and design, and how it would be a dream to study architecture in Seattle. I told him how I didn't get along with my friends much anymore, but that I didn't mind being alone. He told me he was there for me, and he joked that if all he had to do was write my name on a tree to finally get me to talk, he would have left me carved logs with novels on them in front of my room every morning. I don't know why it took me that long to realize it, but it was then I knew how much he'd sacrificed.
Which we see at the epilogue level. And if you hear in the voiceover,
there were old abandoned pieces,
which hopefully you can understand me even though I'm, like, talking over myself.
I used to ask him
that message carved into a tree plays a huge part of the very last scene of the game.
I'm sure he got so tired of hearing.
So I was hoping players would remember this part specifically before they get to the epilogue of the game.
Afterwards. What's funny is I think it made those people seem more real. Growing up thinking they were still hanging out, like they couldn't say goodbye. I used to tell my friends how I could swear I saw spirits move near the water, and that always freaked them out. I guess it didn't bother me, because the way I saw it, they were normal people with old cars and sheds, just trying to figure out how to survive and be happy in the middle of nowhere. It was a cool thought that they didn't want to leave, but I was a weird kid.
Well, you had good company
got all the
since those
stars
ghosts like living in a place where they were brutally devoured.
Alright, where was I? Yeah, so I'm glad they played the game, and they appreciate it for what it's worth. But I guess the main lesson I took from releasing this game is that even though it wasn't perfect, and I saw the flaws clearer than anybody, what really meant a lot to me was that people appreciated the story. And I think that was the lesson I learned. Like, people will look past the flaws of your game if you make one, or a story you tell, or a book you write. They'll look past it if it's genuine, and it's like you put your heart into it. And that's what this is. It's a flawed, honest, emotional game. And I'm glad people liked it for what it was.
Free time. If he wasn't watching fly fishing or reading Tom Clancy novels, he was carving something. He made tons of birdhouses. Not that he was into bird watching, but I think he really missed working and adding on to the home. If he couldn't afford the time to build onto our own house, he would have to settle with watching birds move into their little homes.
Oh wait, we gotta get the super
We kept
secret
an
item.
old mattress in the bed of that ugly yellow truck. So we would drive it deep into the woods and then watch the birds fly into their houses while the sun set. Usually it was accompanied by venison jerky or a cold Coke, but not a lot of talking, which is how we both liked it.
Here's a super secret item. Again, no grass, small items around it.
My dad only had a few mementos in the house from his time in the army. One was an old photo of his platoon, and the other was a pair of framed certificates. I like to think he kept those things so he would always remember the people he served with, and remember he kept his honor. In his mind, every other memory wasn't necessary.
Video camera. Yeah, you guys are getting double voiceover action from me. Commentary. There's actually even a commentary mode in the game. So I could have 3 versions of myself talking if you guys wanted. But yeah, that super secret item. They're items that you see in the epilogue of the game, which we'll get to it. But yeah, I'm also going to show you the super secret ending that I don't think many people have seen. Any stars left? But yeah, like if you go exploring, like an exploration game, it can only work if there's something to something to find. And that's why like you're not directly rewarded by going into this corner, for instance, because there's no stars or no items. But there's like an old 90s computer. And eventually you'll find later, like through the voiceovers, like that old computer was important to Joseph when he was a kid. And so it rewards the players who go the extra mile, quite literally. They go a mile out of their way. And they get added story details, which is really cool. So yeah, I hope I'm checking the chat enough. If I missed your question, I'm sorry. Yeah, those certificates are on the wall at the end. Oh, thanks, Victor. I don't know, I wish I was a better programmer. But like the film, like, and again, like I did go to film school, but it wasn't as helpful as I would have thought. My film school was very like theory driven, which was important for like coming up with stories and writing. But when I was 12, I would like make videos and write and make trailers for fake movies that didn't exist. So I got practice when I was little, and that's all it takes is like years of practice.
We were happiest underneath the evergreens. We decided it was time to finally map out the hundreds of acres we lived on just to pass the time during the summer. He was only free in the evenings, so I would spend the day wasting time on dial-up internet and sketching, and then we would rush into the woods,
this in the epilogue,
pen and map in hand
trespassers
before evening
misspelled.
fell. Sometimes the aurora borealis would cast a cold green glow on the mountainside, and we would finish our route underneath a twilight sky. Sometimes I was lonely during those summer days, but there was comfort in the routine.
A lot of teenagers aren't looking for the daily grind, though. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get out, to leave your childhood home. You wanted to progress, to make something of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. That house. I'm sure it's the same as how I left it. But then why does it feel so different?
I doubt you're the only adult to have looked back and asked that question.
I think we end up with 100 stars by this level. Yeah, I don't want to miss any. So Jesse asks how much the game elements were purchased versus made by you. And that's another thing, like, I'm a huge, staunch supporter of. It's because, like, you know, I was busy raising a family, and I was busy working full-time, but I wanted to tell a story. But the amazing thing with the internet now is, like, you can crowdsource so many of these projects just because they're available, and people, like, let you license them. Like, you go to the Unity Asset Store, and you can download the third-person controller from Opsive, that's what this game runs on. You can download this stylized nature pack, which I modified it, but it was based off this. It was the foundation, and it quite literally, like, using assets, like, I don't know, I would say maybe 60% of the game is publicly made assets that I may have modified, and then 40% I made from scratch. There we go. So we have one more, and that's actually, I forgot about it. It's at the entrance to the vines, the roots coming out of the ground. So if we do the third one, it will unlock, and we can move forward. So yeah, I'd say maybe 60 to 70% are assets I bought that I might have modified, and then 30 to 40% I made myself. And even, like, saying from scratch, like, what does that mean? Like, and this is where it gets hard, because there's some gamers that say, oh, you bought game assets, like, you should be ashamed of yourself. But, like, even in Hollywood, like, you use sound effect libraries that you subscribe to, because why would you go through all the work to, like, re-record a sound of, like, a glass breaking when 1 million people have done it before and will let you license it for $5? So that was kind of the thought of, like, finishing the first tree, was like, I have a story to tell that's me and that's unique, but to finish it, the only way to do that is if I use all these assets that I can purchase to save me thousands of hours. Because if I did make all this from scratch, I'm a technical artist. I've been doing this like 10, 15 years. I could, like, I'm not great at animating. Like, I could probably, like, learn to animate though over the course of a couple years. I could make these trees. That would take me a long time. So that was the choice I made. I was like, I'll tell my unique story using ununique items I can download off the internet. And I'm glad I did. Like, I thought more people would care. Especially, like, you know, you see, like the media fiasco when, like, PUBG, the developers of PUBG use a playground 3D model set you can buy off the Unreal Engine store. And they get just stoned in the streets for using one playground model by all these gamers. So yeah, I thought more people would care, and I think I've maybe, out of, like, the 10,000 comments I've seen on Reddit and Imgur and emails, I've only seen, like, maybe 10 people mention they recognize the assets. So take that for what you will. Alright, I think I got all the stars. I hope so. We'll find out. If it's not a whole number. There we go. Couple stars here. And there's a mysterious wolf. Which, again, like most of the game, the game's vague, and it's abstract. It's nothing stated definitively, and the wolf is that too. And all the wolf represents is just the specter of death. It's just a mysterious entity
nearby,
that
unfazed,
kills for no reason.
Like nothing was wrong. My dad is dead, and he's never coming back, Rachel. I can tell you these stories, but I can never reminisce with him again. He can never hold a grandchild that we'll probably never be able to have. I can never talk to him again, and I'll never be able to say I'm sorry for everything.
There goes the wolf. He leaves like how he came, like in the night, just killing indiscriminately. And that's all the wolf represents. It just represents the unfairness of life. I hope I have all the stars. So Brian asks, do you load each level entirely? No. Like, the only time I had to do that with consoles. And consoles was like, it's probably like one of those things, it's like one of the things I'm most proudest of is porting the consoles, especially as like the novice that I am. It should be 100 stars. All right, we're good. So we got 25 stars left in the last 2 levels, and then that should be all 150. So the consoles, like, I think I had to do LOD levels, like LOD loading, or at least I had to do like, you know, like you cull lots of different objects if you're far enough away. And there is like for Nintendo Switch, what really helped was doing occlusion culling, which Unity does it for you. You just have to fine tune it and bake these occlusion maps. But that means like if a rock is blocking a house, then the house will disappear. And it really helps with the processing and memory usage. So yeah, the last level, the epilogue, which is by far the most resource intensive, there is a lot of LOD loading in that. Thanks, Martin. I'm glad people like you understand. Because sometimes people on the internet, they can be kind of mean. But also there's tons of nice people too. And I appreciate that. Yeah, the wolf is scary. And then I'm gonna explain, like in the epilogue, I'm gonna explain like a lot of the themes I did on purpose, a lot of like the little touches I did that I don't think people noticed, but it was to focus on, is the fox the main character or is Joseph? Yeah, the song. I love this song. Did I miss anyone's questions? Yeah, if I didn't get to your questions, I can answer them right now. Although now there's gonna be a lot of talking soon. I should get Elise in here. If you guys wanted to meet my wife, she might be awake now. But I told her I'd be doing this live stream, and I said there might be fans of the game who'd like to meet her. Because this next level, the Endless Starry Lake, that's kind of her level, where she really carries the spirit of the dialogue and the story in this next one. But it's also like,
I just can't talk about this anymore.
Letters. Good night. And you can hear Joseph saying like he's just really bummed, and like you could see like when he went to the wolf, Joseph said, "My dad is dead." And a lot of people, like, they would tell me like, "Oh, did I miss something?" Like I feel like I missed a really important plot point because I wanted it to be kind of a surprise, because that's how I felt when my dad passed away. It was like a punch in the gut. So that part's intentional. You're supposed to be kind of thrown off, be like, what in the world? What is he talking about? And so right now Joseph is kind of shutting himself off emotionally, because right now he's talking to his wife Rachel, and they're in bed, and so now he doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And now this is like this is Rachel's time to shine, to be like a supportive spouse. And now we're lost, and that kind of like goes in with what Joseph is feeling right now. He just doesn't know what to do. He's totally lost. He can't go in any direction.
You can't go to sleep feeling like this. I'm sorry for everything, and I know you need space, but I'm here for you. You don't need to feel so lost. Joseph, have I ever told you what my mother was like?
Where is it? I do think that's like one of the most powerful parts of the game. But also maybe it's because I think Elise does a way better job voice acting than me, and she really like carries this whole scene forward. So Memboy asked what similar projects, and I do have I have some really cool ideas that I'm excited about. I think what I'm gonna do is, because like, you know, ever since my GDC talk, it's been such like a, people have been wondering, how do you make a game? I want to see how you did it, because I'm just like you. I can't program, and I have a full-time job. Like, how did you do it? So that's why I started Game Dev Unlocked. Was like, I want to make a new game, and it's gonna be a short game, and I think it will be like a combination of The First Tree plus Home is Where One Starts. And I'm gonna make that, and I'm gonna document the entire thing so people know what it's like to make a game. So yeah, if you subscribe, there'll be new videos, and then I want to make like a premium paid online school, which will come later, with like lots more material and workbooks and free games and free Unity free Unity keys and stuff. So yeah, I hope it helps you guys out, because I want more people to make games. It's possible.
You know what it's like not to have a mom at home. And you know how hard that made my childhood. What helped me was watching the birds in the morning before the school bus came. I thought that my mother was one of those birds.
What's up, Matthew Blaster?
And it made me want
I was telling you about my brothers who went to PAX with me.
My mom taught me how
and they
to
were like
fold
helping me sell the game, even though I just hated talking about it, because there's some things I just wasn't secure about. Matthew is like, he's like the brother like right underneath me in age. And he has a YouTube channel, so if you guys want to check out his stuff, it's pretty fun. These are items from Home is Where One Starts.
Animals. And for me, that love started
and
with
actually this character, Rachel, is actually the same character as Home is Where One Starts.
Would come up to our
They're actually like, there's almost like a sequel.
Wait at the fence for me, but only once in a while. I was sure to check every day immediately after school, and it usually ended in disappointment. I would even steal money from my passed-out dad just so I could buy these off-brand dog biscuits. Even when she did stop by, she never went beyond the fence. Why was she so scared? I think my dad was the opposite of your dad in almost every way.
Rachel's
Except
father
he was in
in
the
Home is Where One
military as
Starts is an
He coped
alcoholic.
with alcohol of every kind.
In her game, Home is Where One Starts is
Trailer
about her
started falling
overcoming
apart.
that.
He got angry and I withdrew. More and more I became the weird, quiet kid who made lots of origami birds and carried dog biscuits around. I think we were pretty similar when it came to being the weird kids. And that same sincerity in college was one of the reasons I was so drawn to you.
This is one of Elise's, my
Life
wife.
got
This is one of her
worse and worse.
artworks.
And at
She
one
cut this
point,
paper by hand
I really didn't think I
and then
could
made a
survive
stencil out
another
of it.
day
And so
with
it's in the
my
first
sister
game. It's in
intact.
Home is Where One Starts.
I had no real friends, let alone neighbors, since we lived in the middle
I
of
think this piece
nowhere.
is called Sewn by the
I
Mountain.
should have talked to my teacher.
You can see like
but
the hands. It's like
I
kind of
was
like
scared what he would do
it's
if
kind
he
of a
found
piece
out.
dedicated to our relationship in a
As I
way.
waited
You
for
see like the
school
hands at
bus
the
one
top,
morning, I
intertwined.
walked around until I found something in an abandoned shed. Something I can't put into words.
I'm glad you like the animal movements, because when I first posted the teaser of this game on YouTube, I think the top comment was like, wow, nice colors, but man, that animation is horrible. I think it's okay. Like the jump is okay. Like the digging animation, I had to work hard to, like, it was not very good at the beginning. I had to modify it, because again, this was a library of assets that I again like modified to make it look good. Even the jump's kind of silly, like the paws go up. But I did my best. You guys gotta believe me on that.
I summoned courage I didn't know I had.
This is her bike from Home
and
is
I
Where One
broke into my
Starts.
dad's room and found the key to the shed where he had locked my bike.
Riding a bike.
I'll never forget that feeling. The wind rushing by my ears as the sun rose over fields of wheat. I was flying for the first time. I biked as far as my legs could take me until I found a house that felt friendly, and that felt like home. Those strangers helped me in so many ways. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have found my
Actually,
foster family.
we're about to load the whole
And if it wasn't
island,
for my parents,
which might cause a memory
I wouldn't
hitch.
have met you.
And this is like a really like cheap
have
Unity
strength
trick to
yourself,
reveal it. I just didn't
and
know how
you're
else to
not
do
as
it. So I
alone as
just,
you think.
actually the camera
It's all
viewing
just so
angle,
pointless.
like just increases.
Just
That's all it
waiting
is, the
for
draw
life to
distance
happen.
to reveal
It's
the
like
island.
having the home I always wanted is cursed out of my reach.
Hello, Kiero.
The
Thanks
thought
for
of
playing
being
my
a parent
game.
Myself. How could I do that when I couldn't even be a good son. I'm sorry. I know what you're saying. I just don't know how things will work out. These quiet hours will turn into years. We will wonder which roads passed us by.
Then we'll forge a new road together. Besides, I discovered for myself that one fateful morning where any hopeful road leads to. There may be thorns and mist, but it always leads to the
It
same
took forever to
thing.
time this. Like, when you
What's that?
see all the deer, it says family.
Family.
I'm so glad. That
And
you're
then,
part
if
of
I wasn't
my
taking my
family,
time,
Rachel.
like if you were just to keep going like most
And I'm
normal
glad you're
players,
part
the
of
music
mine.
would swell right at that moment. And I worked really hard to get the timing on that. And every player will play differently, but normally, right as they go up that hill, it will say family, and then the music swells. And I am proud of that part, because that kind of sums up like the themes of this game is like family through hardship, and how like Joseph felt like he failed as a family member. But Rachel has a different problem, as she like was trying to escape an abusive family member. They just have totally different views on it. But Rachel's the stronger one of the two. And that's why Joseph needs her help to get out of this funk. So, my brother Matt is #1 fan. Robert Wright says they're working on a game. And it's really easy to come up with scope creep. And it is. It's like this giant evil monster that wants to destroy all of your creative projects all the time. And I've seen it at all my jobs. I've seen it at the Void. Scope creep, for those who don't know, is just when you just want to keep adding more and more stuff. It's like, oh, this game would be great. Oh, it needs multiplayer now. Oh, we need lots of achievements. Okay, we need to do like a leadership board. Here's like a little secret. It's just some pieces of art. This is an original piece of art that my Elise's best friend Heather made. You can see, again, like, I thought it was just perfect for the game. The foxes and then the woman right there. It's a lot like Rachel and the fox. They're both mothers, or Rachel wants to be a mother. But the game implies that she's had miscarriages. And then there's also by Heather, another fox. We have this hanging up in my kid's bedroom, which is cute. That's a stock photo. That's a stock photo. Hold on a second. We got a special guest. Hold on. Okay, well, I don't know.
have more special guests.
This is my wife. You can
Where
see
am I
right there.
looking? Oh, hello.
She voices Rachel, and she's pretty awesome. She's an artist. We showed you some of the artwork.
Oh, cool. Very
And-
cool.
And we're just saying how this was like your level, the one in the Starry Lake. So Elise helped me a lot. She listened to the game through like a million different iterations.
As your bouncing board for ideas.
Yes, definitely. So it was just us two pretty much making the game.
Well, mainly you, but
Yeah.
I provided a couple tiny minor ideas.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much all you.
But yeah. Oh, Matt, hello. Hello, voice of Rachel. Matt says hi. Crystal
Hi,
Wolf
Matt.
says hi.
Hello, Crystal.
Elise, hello. Her artwork is amazing.
Oh, thank you
that's
so
Christine.
much. Thank you.
Cool, great work. Yeah, she did. I hate when I do the voice acting.
As your ride go.
Yeah,
Both our
actually-
kids woke up
We got crazy kids.
and
but-
one of them is yelling, "Are you done working yet?" One of the challenges of working from home.
Yep, challenge of working from home. I'm gonna finish the game though. All right, thanks for coming
All
by.
right.
All right, I'm glad she stopped by. And then she saw your nice messages, so thank you. All right, we're taking too long. How long have I been doing this? Hour and 20 minutes. So we're close to the end of the game, and I think I've gotten all the stuff. We'll see. Here's an old. Forgot the bottom mesh. See, still things I forgot about after 2 years. Right now the time in Utah is 3:15 p.m. Yeah, I'll tell her you guys liked her voice acting. I think she does an excellent job. I feel like she could get a job doing something for like Naughty Dog or like the Last of Us game or something. And me, not so much. Got more stuff that's in the house in the epilogue. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm new to this, guys. This is where the music swells. Again, another song by Josh Kramer. Yeah. I got these fancy transitions, but I need to use them. You guys see it now? I think there is a delay. Is it like 30 seconds or something? Can I change that in YouTube Live? How what's the delay at? Are you guys, can you see it now? Okay, glad it's back. Sorry. All right. Here's the super secret item again. I think it's here.
But it honestly was my dad's den, his haven. He hung sketches of animals on the walls, along with a pair of caribou antlers. He never really hunted.
I hope there were
so he must have
cathartic tears, Roman.
It wasn't a trophy.
But yeah, I did. I wanted people to cry
died and left
because
this earth.
Sometimes tears,
still remembered by the
you just need that good release, especially when you think about the injustice of life sometimes. And that's what this game is about. It's about loss and then hope after that loss. Okay, glad it's working. Yeah, maybe I'll lower the settings next time, because I do like, this is kind of a special stream because I wanted to play my game. But I also, like, in the future, as I'm working on other games, I want to do streams. I just want to, like, answer questions and work on stuff. And I figured now, like, during this crazy self-quarantining, social distancing, that was a good time to do that. Geronimo! Stars. I think we got all the secrets. Again, this is herd sim with the deer. So Russell asks, what was your writing process? And I'm not gonna say this was the right way to do it, but one of the perks of just making this a hobby project without a team, being a solo developer, lone wolf, is that I can just like do it however I wanted. And for me, I didn't have like the exact dialogue. Like I had items, like I picked the items that you dig up, but I didn't know the exact dialogue until like the last couple months of development. And I was writing stuff, but I keep an outline in my head. Like I think I did have a Google Doc. I just kept all of my ideas and brainstorming, like, okay, there's a toy boat that the fox digs up. How does that relate to Joseph? Oh, it's for show and tell. But I didn't write the actual dialogue until like really close to release, and then we recorded it. Yeah, I would say maybe it was like 4 or 5 months before release, and I worked on the game for 18 months. So yeah, it's different for each person. Some people like they start off with a script and they're like, okay, I'm gonna make the game according to this script, and that's not me at all. Especially like, I don't know if I ever got to that question about scope creep. Sorry, Robert. Yeah, I guess this ties into like, you have to compromise. You know, as an artist, I feel like it's a dirty word to say compromise your vision. But when you're a lone wolf dev and it's just you and you're working on it as a hobby, then definitely you have to make decisions. You have to cut stuff out. And what helped me the most was starting small with my first game. And that first game, it was proof to me that I could finish a project. And that was really important to me. Like, I needed proof that I could actually stick with something for like 2 years and then release it and let the world judge it and own it in a way. So I knew I could finish the first tree because I knew what was possible, because I made a really ultra short game, a $3 30-minute game, Home is Where One Starts. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it a little bit bigger, but not by much. And so that's kind of how I knew. Okay, I think I got all the stars. How do you do the particle effect? I didn't storyboard. That would have taken too much time. It was just, I was flying by the seat of my pants. The particle effects that came with the stylized nature pack, which is by Michael Gustafsson. He's an incredible Swedish designer and artist. And he released this pack on Unity. And I did like change it, like I changed colors and movement, but he created like the little dot that I used. Okay, this is the last level.
The fox knew her last cub would be waiting
This
for
is
her
the
at
Jade
the first
Valley.
tree. She was almost there. The rain cascaded
Did I miss
onto
any
the
other
Jade
questions?
Valley where the entrance to
So I
the
guess to
tree
answer that
was.
scope creep question,
Life was
like just
protected there.
your first project should be as
Because that's
small
where
as
life
possible,
began.
and the goal should just be to finish
There's
it,
now
like a
only
finished
mother
product,
and daughter left.
and you just release it, even if it's not
Items from my
perfect.
life still dotted the
And then
ground
your
as she
next
moved
game,
closer to her
you know what you're
destination
capable of,
and
and
destiny.
you know what, like how you can stretch yourself even further. So yeah, just do the bare minimum, and I think all devs should start that way. Like, I started making, like, I didn't make games with Unity, but in middle school I was making like my own custom levels for games like Far Cry and Dark Forces and Quake 3. And that was, the scope is small because it's just one level. It's not a whole game. So yeah, like, I think your first game, if you want to be an aspiring game developer, make it one level. And that's what Home is Where One Starts is. It's 30 minutes. It's one Unity scene. There's not a save system because there's no point. It's 30 minutes. And the game can be completed in like the 100% completion rate is like 45 minutes. So yeah, I hope that helps. There's a lot of tips, and those are like kind of the lessons I'm making for Game Dev Unlocked with the online school. So Matthew Blaster, my brother, do you know the process for them making games at the Void? How did that help you make the first tree? It was kind of
At the end of
separate.
high school,
Like, it would
I felt
help,
something
like,
I hadn't felt in a long time.
sometimes there was
Thrive.
one specific
I looked
thing
into
where
the best architecture schools on
I was
the West
learning about
Coast
singletons,
and got a dose of reality
Unity
when
C
looking
Sharp,
at
and again,
other
like, I'm
students'
the worst
portfolios
programmer ever.
and the high cost of tuition.
or like I can just get by,
I
like,
still wanted to be something, to be the next
and
Alvaro
at the Void
Caesar.
we had to learn singletons
those
to make the
thousands
script
of
work,
sketches
because
worth something in
Ghostbusters,
my
the VR
grand history.
Ghostbusters game is
But
made
now
in
even
Unity. All of our other
internships
ones are made in
are impossible.
Unreal.
Caesar helped me
So,
understand how essential emotion
Yeah,
is in
singletons helped me
architecture.
fix a Steamworks
He
problem,
also
because
said
Steam,
light is the real
like the
composer of
achievement
space.
stuff wasn't working, and that
I
you
like
need to know a
think
little bit of
these
C
glints
Sharp
of
to make it
light,
work.
like not
And then I
finding
figured
a
out
job,
singletons, and I was
even
able to fix a
strange dream
bug
about
that
a
was in the
fox
code.
Are something I should be thankful for. Even if the illuminated space is something I'm less than comfortable with.
Memboy asks, do you believe you could start developing games with only basic coding capabilities? And the answer to that is 110% yes, because I'm proof of it, because I barely know how to code. Like, I can see it, I can find a C# script and I can be like, oh, okay, jump power, I know that I can change that variable. But if someone was like, hey, can you write a third-person controller? I'd be like, no, absolutely not. And so yeah, it's
My dad was super
it just has to be
supportive of my
simple,
college plans.
like an exploration
To a
game, like the
point.
first tree, or
Things were
or
okay
like a
until
super
a
simple
terrible
platformer
accident
that you can
happened.
put your own personal touch on
I
it.
guess a forklift flipped over due to a bad axle, and it crushed one of the workers there. My dad didn't eat for days, even though he wasn't directly involved. It devastated him. Not only did it hurt the business, but it just freaked him out. He would talk in his sleep, muttering things about firing people and saying sorry. One fateful day, he approached me, said that since my school search wasn't going well, I should finally be a man and take over the family business. He said one day he was going to die, and that all of his work, sacrifice, and even that man's life would be wasted in vain. I just lost it. Teenage me just exploded at the thought. I screwed up. I said things I shouldn't have. He was having a crisis, and I pretty much spit in his face.
So yeah, that's an important part of the story. Basically, Joseph's father owns a lumber company in Alaska. You can kind of see it up there. Again, it's like a representation. It's not the actual one, but it's like a dreamlike metaphor for the lumberyard. And basically one of his workers died, and it freaked the father out and said, "Hey, Joseph, you need to..." Oh, here's a secret. It says the house. We're going to get the very last super secret item. But basically this is what causes a rift in their relationship and why Joseph moves out to Washington State while his father stays in Seattle. Or no, stays in Alaska. Sorry. So, and this is like what, this is kind of like the note they leave off of. So, yeah, Crystal Wolf, I did work at the Void. I was a technical artist there, and then later I did a bunch of like video editing. Where am I? But now I'm a full-time indie developer. When I was working at the Void, I was making the first tree. And then right after, I am so lost. Gotta go this way. And then I quit my job after my console ports of the first tree did well. I could support my family, I could pay the mortgage, I could buy food, and so now this is my full-time job. And now like what I've been doing the past year is I have some game ideas that I've done preliminary work on, but I've been spending like a year and a half on Game Dev Unlocked because I've gotten countless emails from people who want to know how to make games like how I did, which is cool. Like I didn't think I would be that kind of person. This is the house, and to people who've played the game, that looks very familiar. Here's this last super secret item.
Reminders from a time when having a shelter in the woods was all
You can
that
see
mattered.
pictures of Joseph as a kid.
Now the house is a tomb, ready to be abandoned and taken by the elements.
It's not a tomb yet, but it can always be a memorial if you let it.
Yeah, if you guys want, to those who've played the game, that you know about like the online statements. So if you want, I can show you the database afterwards, and then we'll see the message I'm going to input. Which, if you haven't seen the game yet, you're gonna find out soon enough. But also, I got to be careful because there's like sensitive server data, like login info. But I'll give it a shot. I can show you the database. I need to update it actually. It takes a lot of time to go through tens of thousands of messages. And again, like I've talked about how I'm not a programmer, and I have this complex database thing, which we'll get to in a bit. I did not do that. I had my good friend Porter help me with the programming. He's like a genius developer. He knows all these languages, and he helped me set up the server and write the PHP to make it work, and then connect it to Unity. So I love my friend Porter. One of the questions is, did you get stuck at some point? I don't think I got stuck on this game, and I think there's two reasons for that. Like making the game. I knew I could finish it because I had finished a game before this. And also I was posting weekly gifs of the game. And that was like, it's almost like preliminary marketing information. Like if you post some gifs of your game on Imager and it doesn't do well, no one clicks on it, that's almost like a preview of what's to come if you were to release your game on Steam and no one's going to buy it. But as I was posting this stuff online, like I'd get like, you know, sometimes no one would care. Like that happens. Like I'd get like 5 likes on a GIF that I spent an hour making. But sometimes a GIF would go viral and I'd get like 20,000 likes and I would get 1,000, 2,000 wish lists on Steam. And so it was stuff like that that kept me motivated because I knew people wanted to play the game and I knew I could finish it. And of course there's like lots of decisions you have to make to be like, you know, like what I was talking about earlier, you have to compromise your vision in a way. But I knew it'd be worth it, and I knew like the opposite choice of that is to just leave this unfinished game on my dusty hard drive somewhere where no one will ever play it. Or I could release an imperfect but honest emotional game with a beginning, middle, and end. Like it wasn't totally unfinished, but it wasn't perfect. And I could like let people, I could just put it out there in the world and see what happens. And I am so glad I did that because this game changed my life. Like I've gotten thousands of emails from people saying like if it saved them from like depression in a lot of ways. It pulled them out of really dark spots in their lives. And as an artist or a creative, that's like the most fulfilling thing you could ever hear, is that like something you made helped improve their lives. That's what it's all about. And so it's worth it. It's worth it to make a game. But yeah, it's a lot of work. Like I gave up so much to work on this. Like I stopped watching all the shows my friends were watching. I stopped playing games. Like I'd maybe like with my brothers, I'd probably play like PUBG like an hour a week. That's it. It just, all my recreational time went to making this game. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I think I have all the stars. We're gonna find out. So this is the last story item, I think.
Was that the last time you talked to him?
No, I called on holidays, and he would call on my birthday. I guess we acted like nothing ever happened.
I got an achievement, so that's all the stars.
Didn't want to ask about his lumberyard, and I'm sure he didn't want to ask about my job search. I never went back and visited. I think the last conversation we had was about
I'm missing
what
2
movies we had
stars.
seen,
All right, we're gonna go
exactly
fast.
a best boy is in the credits. I thought he would be here so much longer.
Oh wait, I think I know where they are. Again, like getting all the stars is like, you're not supposed to get every star. And in fact, by this point of the game, you don't even know what the stars are for. They're just, again, it's like a third-person game trope. And I wanted people to ask, why am I collecting these stars? Well, you collect them because they're there. But like, what's the point? How's it going to help you? Here's the forklift in the story item that accidentally killed one of Joseph's father's employees. So I think that's all the stars. Yeah, maybe we'll play Warzone tonight. I'm not very good at it. Yes. Oh wait. You're definitely not supposed to go up there. There it is. Alright, so we've collected every star. Again, it's only for the completionists. We've dug up every story item. We've dug up every secret item. So now this should unlock a very special secret ending. Actually, I just realized the secret ending won't show you the tree. You guys need to tell me if you want to see the tree at the end or you want to see the super secret ending. The tree is the one that involves the online database that I was talking about. The super secret ending, it involves a little bit of dialogue and objects that no one's ever seen. Or very few people have seen, like less than 1% of the game of people who played the game have seen the ending. Yeah. So Speed Fox. Man, he makes testing so much easier. I love Speed Fox. He's Tails from Sonic. Alright, here we go. The twist. Your last cub is dead. And that kind of sucks.
In the distance, the first tree illuminated the wasteland, she couldn't go home anymore. She did the only thing she was capable of: moving forward. My dad died alone in the middle of the wilderness. I should have been talking to him more. I should have done a lot of
We'll
things.
do super secret ending. I don't even think it's on YouTube. I don't think anyone's uploaded it.
If the first tree on Earth brought life with it, if it taught the birds to sing and fly and showed saplings how to grow, what could it do for us?
This is the first tree of all existence. It's a place of life and rebirth, but also kind of death, because that's a part of life, is death. And this, again, it's a modified tree from the stylized nature pack I was telling you about. It's really just one of the normal trees with bigger roots, and I just scaled it up by like 1,000 times. It's a really big tree.
There was a letter I received yesterday from a name I didn't recognize, with a quote I can't stop thinking about. Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. More and more, I'm realizing one important truth. Each of us have our own journey to the first tree, but sometimes I'm not sure I'm ready to take that first step.
You already have my love.
So after this, Fox has lost everything important to her. Her last course of action is to just go to the base of the first tree and see what happens next. Just cry, get those tears out. It's a stressful time in the world. But I think the theme of this game is that it's going to be alright. But it's okay to cry. The first tree awakens and gently asks if there's one last message the fox wants to tell her children. She replies back and says, I'm not sure if it will upload due to the secret ending, but we'll put something, 150 stars. Now the thought is, it's supposed to be a message that not only applies to the foxes, but also to people, like Joseph and his father. And that's the whole intention of this experiment, is like, it's talking to the fox's cubs, but wouldn't those same feelings of love apply to other people who've suffered losses? So I'm gonna say, for your love and thank you so much for your love and your gentle feelings of warmth. Take care in the afterlife. How's that? Is that decent? I wanted to be something that just came from the heart. I've probably played through,
I guess her journey was
500
over,
times.
but I have no idea.
Usually with Speed Fox.
It was only a dream, a distraction from tomorrow.
I don't think dreams normally bring back to memory so many important feelings. Maybe it was just a dream, but it was also a gift.
Yeah, I suppose. But tomorrow we're getting on a plane to the last place on Earth I want to be. The only person that would have made the trip worth it is gone.
You're going to see him and be with him one last time before you say goodbye. I have one last quote for you by Emerson, sealed in an imaginary letter from me to you. It is the secret of the world that all things subsist and do not die, but only retire a little from sight and afterward return again. Go to sleep, my love. We have a big day tomorrow, but I'll be there with you every step of the way.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Good night, Rachel.
Good night, Joseph.
Joseph and Rachel are going back to bed after talking about this crazy dream. And the fox faded into the ether world, whatever happened. She became part of nature, became one with nature. It's kind of vague. I don't even really know. But I'm glad you guys like this ending. Okay, this part, I've told you the things I'm embarrassed about this game, but I'm very proud of this part of the game. What in the world? We are in a weird house. And it is a first person perspective. And there is a woman. We're going to assume that's Rachel. There's all these religious books. There's a Holy Bible. There's a Quran. There's a Book of Mormon. There's this book about these, like in religion, and in all these religions, there's always like this archetypal myth of a tree of life, and that's like in Norse mythology and Christianity and Judaism. Like it's that tree is an origin of life symbol is really important in almost all religions. So it looks like Joseph's been reading about that on his nightstand. This house, what house is he in? I wanted this part in the game to be like, what in the world is going on? I wanted it to feel creepy. Like, have you guys ever woken up 3 a.m. and you can't go back to sleep and you're just walking around your house at night and you just hear like the wind hitting the sides of the house and it's a little eerie, but it's your home at the same time. It kind of feels safe, but you haven't seen your home in this light before. That's the feeling I was trying to go for. So if you look around, you can kind of see like, oh, these are like army, like, you know, certificates of the army. And this must be Joseph's father's house. So Joseph and Rachel, they must have decided 6 months later after that dream, some stuff happened in Seattle and they decided to move back to Alaska. And Alaska, I've never been to Alaska, but before my dad passed away, we talked a lot about making a trip to Alaska to see some family friends. And I liked how it was like this, it's like this separate world that's like, I don't know, it's almost like this, not quite heaven, but it's separated from everything else. And it's so empty and beautiful and desolate, which works as a gameplay mechanic because I can't make a giant city. I can't develop New York City, but I can make a cabin in the woods in Alaska. That's something I can do. So in this part of the game, I wanted players just to be really bewildered and just be like, what is going on? This is so creepy. This is so interesting. This is Joseph's father's living room. There's a fox there. And all these photos, like that's probably of Joseph's father in the military. And again, like I didn't make everything in this whole house. I got like a house Unity asset, and I was able to customize it to be how I wanted it. You can tell there's like moving boxes, so it's possible like they just moved in like last night, and they kind of got tired, and they just said we're gonna turn in. And then if you go into this office, it's being painted. Like you can see like the paintbrushes, and it's pink. And it looks like there's going to be a baby. So maybe Rachel's fears of miscarriages, maybe they've come to an end. Maybe they just found out while they're in the move that she's pregnant. This is when environmental storytelling, like, I just love it. Like, I love telling a story through just wandering through an environment. So, yeah, you can just barely hear, like, the ticking clock. Now, if you remember, one of the stories Joseph shares in the green level, the Emerald Forest, level 3, he talks about how, like, he wants to go back to that tent and, like, Like, that's something him and his father did a lot. So you don't have any instructions until I want people to explore, to figure out stuff. iTruck made that fake brand. I just wanted players to like just explore and to piece together the story themselves. There was like a big streamer that played my game, which was getting kind of scary. I think it was either Lyric, Twitch streamer, or Dex Bonus. And I was watching them play, and then like they did like a donation, like I don't know what you call that on Twitch. You do a donation that makes a loud sound. And then it was a gunshot right as she walked in front of the garage, and it opened, and she like screamed. Yeah, it must have been Dex Bonus. That was pretty funny. And you can kind of see like there's little hints everywhere. Like it says Alaska. There's Alaska bumper sticker on the car. I wanted people to like just walk around and get a feel for like what's going on. Why did they move? Who's that woman in the bed? Alright, I should check the chat window. Yeah, I'm glad that you were concerned something might pop out. And there's one cruel trick I play. I'm going to show you guys. I wanted people to go far away, and like you can start to hear the owls hooting, little wolves howling. You're like, oh, this is creepy. And then it's like this little shed with old abandoned car. Okay, I think you'll hear a sound, so like try to listen for it. Oh, hear that twig snap? There's nothing there, but like I panned it to the right, so you'd think like there'd be something in the window looking at you, right when you go through this creepy shed in the middle of the night. But no, just something to explore. Yeah, have I missed any questions or anything? Sorry, I'm just trying to multitask. Thanks guys for the nice comments. You guys are awesome. It's been fun doing a live stream. I'm hoping to do more when I start working on my next game. So it'd be cool if you guys join me. And if you ever have questions about dev, like making games, it's what I do. I answer a lot of emails every day from people who are excited to make games. And I love helping because it's something I'm really passionate about. All right, should we start this? I think I've shown you. There's like sometimes like you can go out to the driveway and you'll see like bird houses and a gate and stuff. But I think I've shown you all the interesting things. You can kind of see like if you just take a look, you'll see like a lighter. I think there's something carved into this. There's a hatchet. Oh, there it is. I think it's supposed to be like, say like 1969 or something. Probably something that Joseph's father had, like, he built this a long time ago. So here, and then actually I just added these fireflies because people would get so stuck in this part. And I felt bad, like I don't want people to get stuck, but I want them to explore. But it can be frustrating for people when they don't know where to go after looking for 30 minutes. And I felt really bad about that. So I added the fireflies as a tool, like as a hint. And then also if you wait like more than 10 minutes, you'll get a little pop-up that says go to the tent. I added that before the console releases, and I'm glad because a lot of people were getting stuck here, which wasn't my intention. I just wanted people to explore and be like, oh, a tent, like I want to go into that tent. And then you can see the crosshair lights up. Say, okay, all right, let's start the ending.
What the hell?
What the hell? Yeah, I never cuss, so like my family makes fun of me for this part. All right, there's a fox. Oh, he's going. Let's run. Oof. I was thinking of adding an achievement if you get something for beating the fox, but I thought that'd ruin the moment. So So you can see like the crosshair faded out. And that was intentional. The music starts. The sun will start to rise. Now I faded out the crosshair because I didn't want any UI elements in the way because I wanted to create an illusion here. And the illusion is that even though I'm a first-person controller, the game is played from a first-person perspective in this epilogue. It feels like I'm the fox that I've been playing as for the past hour and a half. And that was a really important metaphor I wanted to communicate. That these two are linked together. And even though like I'm not controlling the fox, the camera angle, it looks exactly like the third person game that I was playing for the past hour. Okay, so this is where the super secret ending comes in. It should, to the left, you're gonna see the same kind of pillar of light. Oh, there it is. See that? Completionist. I just got the achievement. You can't see it, but we did it. We got 100% of the game. Now this is where my path diverges from the fox. 99.9% of people are going to chase the fox, and what they'll see is they'll see a message on a tree. And that goes back to Joseph's father, how he would like write messages for his son for him to find in the woods. And it's one last message from Joseph's father. But here's the thing. It is from another player who's played the game and wrote the message to the foxes, the baby foxes. So that's the special thing. That's where the internet connectivity comes in. And this song I love this song. I attribute the success of the ending to this song, which is You Are a Memory by Message to Bears, which I was able to license for a pretty good price. And I was really thankful for them. Yeah, I love this song. Music fades out. So this is the super secret ending, guys. These items aren't here unless we've done all the things I've done, like collect all the stars. But if you do that and you see that white pillar of light to the left as you're running down the mountain, you'll see something in the ground. And this is probably something from Joseph's father. And again, it's a callback to the fox digging up things. I don't know. I just think of that George Lucas quote. It's like poetry. It rhymes. But that's a lot of the story in this game. There's those story threads that interconnect, and that's what this is all about. Is like this fox going through a separate thing, but also this sun going through a separate thing, and how they come together at the end. So here it is. I got this voice actor you're about to hear from. Hired him on Fiverr. He did a really great job.
Dear Joseph, I knew you would find this note. I remember carving you all sorts of toys when you were little. It made you so happy as a kid. I probably should have told you about my heart issues and worsening condition. But I didn't want you to worry. I've found a lot of solace crafting you these last figurines, though. May sound funny, but I had the most vivid dream of my life. I saw a fox looking for her children across miles and miles, and it made me think of you the entire time. Tell Rachel I say hello, and thank you for making everything right.
And that is the first tree. That's the super secret ending. Which, I think I like the original ending better, because the whole point of the game is that tree, and then the sharing the message with people. I don't think You don't get that whole functionality in the super secret ending, but I wanted to add it as just a little bonus for people to discover, for the people who are really the hardcore fans. I think, and here's like, there's Matthew Blaster, and Mel. I think Mel's watching, and Jonathan. Thanks, guys, for always testing this. Testing my game a million times. Here's all the people that, like, those are all the people, like, I use their public sound effects, Creative Commons, and that's my family. Now, I think, I'm not sure if the title prompt is going to come up. Yes, okay. So you don't get to see the tree, but you still get to submit your statement to the online database. And so I can show you a little bit about the database. Because that is like, it's a question I get a lot from people saying, hey, like, can I see a list of the statements people have submitted? And I haven't done it yet just because I've been so busy, but I hope to like finish moderating the database. Because also, you can't just put whatever you want and then a player will see it. That's not how it works. That's too risky for such an emotional part of the game. So yeah, you have to. I have to moderate. I have to approve every single one. I make sure it fits in the storyline of the game. That it's not full of, it's not a troll statement. It has to be sincere, and that's all like I go for is like, is it sincere, and is it like relevant to the story of the game? And then I usually approve the statement. All right, let's hit yes. And then we'll we'll take a look. And that was the first tree. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I like the questions. Sorry if I missed your questions. But yeah, I had more viewers than I thought. That was pretty cool. I was thinking, yeah, I'll show you guys the database, and then I'll just show you like one page because I know it is like, can be sensitive information sometimes. But then I was thinking I could answer a few questions for 10-15 minutes, and then we'll call it good. Let's go to the full camera. All right, it's been a while since I've been logged in, but I'm curious if it actually went through. I'd be really bummed if like there's like a server network I didn't even know, a server error I didn't even know about. That's very possible. Where is it? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, my brothers, Prophecy 64 and then Matthew Blaster, they've helped me go through the database, just to approve, because I've, again, like I thought this project would be like maybe a few thousand players, but now I think the first tree, if you include the Humble Bundle, it was part of the indie game Humble Bundle, the 20th one. I think I've sold 200,000 units, which is crazy to me. Like, how is that possible? But yeah, 200,000 people have bought my game. When you look at the achievements, like that can give you a good indicator of how many people have actually played it, because a lot of people buy games they don't play. I do that every day pretty much. But I think 30% of people earn the finish the game achievement. So I think it's safe to say around 30% of people of 30% of that 200,000 people have beaten the first tree, which is pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna go. I wonder how many messages. Oh my gosh, these are so many. It's been a while since I checked. I'm at. Oh wow, I'm getting a lot. So my game, I didn't plan this out, but my game's on sale right now on the Switch. So I'm getting a lot of messages now. Okay, I'm trying to find it. I wonder if I can. Okay, I'm just gonna show you guys. I hope. I don't want to show like this sensitive information though. So maybe let me resize this window real quick. Okay. I think that's good. Okay, let's try it. We are at 28,000 messages. And you can see like, Mommy loves you, my bubbies. I'm sorry. I hope you will be okay in your next life. I love you. I should have got there sooner. I should have gave you a better life. Sometimes there's glitched characters. I don't know why. Some of them are really beautiful. Like some of these messages have been, they really like make an impact on me, and I think they're beautiful. Even in your darkest moments, I will follow you into the dark. Here I am with arms unfolding. I need you. I think that's beautiful. Then you get comments like, I love lamp. Get a lot of that sometimes. Oh, I think this is it. Thank you so much for your love and your gentle feelings of warmth. Take care in the afterlife. That was the message I wrote. But yeah, they're really beautiful, beautiful messages. A lot of times, the majority of them are just like, I love you. And I don't like approve, like I've already approved the message that says I love you. And I don't want it to be like, I want it to be a variety of different responses. If I approved like 100 different I love you messages and that's all people would get, I want it to be like random. I want it to be like, it's picked at random. And so I try to like, if it's a little different, then I'm more inclined to approve the message for players to see. Also, this doesn't get into how much of a nightmare it was to get this approved for consoles, because it's not typical multiplayer. It's just like it's reading from a MySQL database. But to explain that to Nintendo or PlayStation and be like, all right, this is user-generated content, but not really, and it's totally optional, but it's part of the story, but it's not. It caused a lot of issues for certification, and that's why like I was so grateful for Do Games, the console porting company. They really helped a lot. I could not have done it without them. I will always love you no matter how far from home you stray. Look onward and hold strong. I think that's a beautiful message. I need to approve some of these. I'll probably do that tonight. Sometimes they're in a language I don't understand, and I wish I could approve them, but it's hard when I don't, like the character Joseph doesn't speak German, and you know, I don't speak German, so it usually has to be English. And I think I say like, please use English if possible in the translated versions. I'll always love you. Wait for me. I'm sorry. I love you. I will always be here, my angels. So anyway, that is the online database for the first tree. So I appreciate you guys checking it out and letting me show it to you guys. That means a lot. I probably could stick around for a few more minutes and answer questions about the game or game development. So yeah, whatever you guys want to do. Thanks, Jesse, Ryan McAdams. Thanks for buying it on sale, guys. I appreciate it. I love lamp. The lovely white UI. Can I change it to dark mode and PHP my admin? That'd be nice. Thanks, Brian. You were here like the whole time. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys liked it. Yeah, this was like a behind the scenes stream I wanted to do. And I'm glad you guys got something out of it. I wanted to like show the parts of the game that, you know, I have such a different view of the game compared to you guys. And I see like all the parts also that I'm not proud of, but you guys, you just were able to, I'm actually jealous of you because you could just experience it, like stream of consciousness. Just go through the game, listen to the music, listen to the acting. But for me, it was like such a different way to arrive there, if that makes sense. So it is like, it's comforting to know people liked it. I'm glad like I stayed motivated to make the game, even though like it was really hard. When I think everyone should know, if you're like want to make games, it's totally normal to hate with every last fiber of your being to hate your own project by the time you're done with it. It's very normal. I don't want to say I hate the first tree, but it was hard to work on it so long after, when you just have a busy day and a busy life. But what makes it all worth it is hearing like people like you say, I love the game. Thank you for making it. It really, like, I cried here. It got me through a tough time. Those are like the most meaningful emails I've ever gotten from in my life are from this game. So thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks Robert for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's on sale on Switch for $4, which I didn't plan on there being, like, you have to set up the sales like months in advance on Nintendo Switch. And I didn't expect there to be a pandemic right now. But I'm glad so many people are playing it right now, because it is like everyone's stuck inside and they just want to play something to escape from reality. And even though my game's not like, it's not exactly like, you know, it's kind of sobering. It's kind of emotional and heartfelt. I think people still like, they still need something like that once in a while. Yeah, it was a labor of love for sure. P-Poi Boy said, did you want the game to mean more to you personally or to others? And maybe that's like, here what I think is the paradox of being a creative. The more like true you are to yourself and the more true you are to the story, then that means the more people will connect with it, because it's true, it's authentic. And so the game helped me deal with loss, but I also I wanted to share it with the world. That's why I wanted to finish it. Like, if I wanted to just make a game and just not share it with anybody, like, I could do that. Like, I think that's cool that people just get that creative drive just from making something for them. But I made it for me, and I wanted to help other people. And I think I'm really fortunate that I can make a video game that helps people. Like, that's the coolest feeling in the world. Thanks, Christina. Christina's my sister-in-law. She's amazing. She's so sweet. Good luck playing Animal Crossing all weekend. I need to play more of it, actually. I also bought a bunch of games I want to play. I need to play a Kentucky Route Zero, which came out on Switch. Came out on my birthday. I'm dying to play it. Any other questions? I'm checking it out. I'm using OBS. Sorry, Crystal Wolf asked that. I'm using OBS. And yeah, I made that transition in After Effects. I come from a film background, right? So I did a lot of video editing like as a kid, and then I got into After Effects, and I did that for work. So it ties in nicely with creating artistic components in a video game, but I'm still like, I use Playmaker for the code. I'm just not... Code is really hard for me. Like, the only class I failed in high school was Spanish, which is like the easiest language to learn in the world. But I later learned like learning a computer programming language is just, you're like learning Chinese. Not really Chinese. Depends on the language, I guess. The programming language. But you're learning this new language, and it's just logic puzzles all the time. I wish I was better at programming. But what's amazing is we're in this day and age where you can make a game without knowing programming or you don't have to invent a game engine, is what I'm saying. You still need, like, it helps to know programming, and you can ease yourself into it. Like, I had to like incorporate Steam achievements, which took programming, like actual C# programming. But it was so simple. Like, I could do that. I could incorporate Steam achievements. What I couldn't do was like create a whole complex third-person controller with smooth camera movements and lerping and like collision colliders and creating the math that makes it so like it bounces when it hits a rock, when the camera hits a rock and stuff like that. It is so much to do. But we're in this amazing age where you can buy these templates and assets, and that's just really cool. Like, if you've ever wanted to make a game, now is the time to do it, for real. You just need like a unique story, like something that's something that you want to share, and then you can share that with you. That will get people interested, because again, like, if you're being authentic to yourself, then People want to see the human side of stuff. That's like, we're all in this internet age bouncing into each other, but you can like make something that actually speaks to people and focuses on our humanity. And so that's really cool. Okay. Maybe I'll play Warzone. Yeah, maybe I could do that. That sounds fun. Mike's asked if I was surprised at the success of my game, and that would be yes. I was definitely surprised. I thought it'd be like my first game, and my first game, like, it did okay, but it sold what, like maybe 500 copies? That's what the typical Steam game sells now. The only hint that I knew it would do better than average, I didn't know how better, but I knew it would do better than average, is because my marketing efforts. Like, I posted once a week, I post a GIF of my game, and people would like it, and then like Unity, the actual like Unity account on Twitter would retweet it, and I'd get like all these followers. I'd get all these wish lists. I'd hit the front page of Reddit when I'd share a GIF occasionally. And that was a hint that people wanted to buy the game. So I also had a decision to make. Like, I knew it was a short game, because again, like, I didn't want scope creep to take over. Like, I wanted this to be like, I didn't want to focus too much on like it being like this super full length game, like $20 game like Firewatch or Inside. And I couldn't do that. It was just me working on it as a hobby. So I made it an impulse buy. That was my decision. I was like, it's going to be $8 and I'll put it on sale. So it was like $7 on launch day. And I think that was a really wise decision, because people saw it. They saw it was beautiful. The trailer was intriguing. And they said, oh, it's $7. I'll buy it. And that was created like this chain reaction of people buying it, people talking about it. Actually, I don't think people talked about it that much. They just bought it, which was great, because it still got me on the front page of Steam. So yeah. Hope that answers your question. I was really surprised, and I'm really grateful for it. Like, this is my job now as like a full-time indie developer, which is crazy. Thanks, Russell, for the offer. When I start new games, I'm definitely gonna need programming help. Usually I just harass like the developers of these Unity assets. Like, I asked the creator of the third-person controller by Opsive, that's the name of the company. I think I asked him 100 questions. And he had to have been annoyed by me. I was probably so annoying. Just the simplest things, like, how do you swim? How do you jump? But they were really patient with me. But yeah, thanks for the offer. Alpha Zenovine. Not sure if you answered this at all during the stream, but I'm interested in starting to develop a game. Any tips or advice? Currently, I know C++. Wow. If you know C++, that is mind-blowing to me. That's really cool. I've used a little bit of Unreal Engine. Yeah, that's a big question. Like, that's a question you can spend months on just studying the answer to that question, let alone doing it. Any tips? I don't know. You could check out GameDevUnlocked.com. I have a bunch of articles there. You can check out my GDC talk, where I talk about how to get started, and especially with the marketing aspect. And also, you can use the Unreal Engine Asset Store just to get started, just to make prototypes. And then eventually you can turn those prototypes into like a really short game. Like, it's a complete game, but it's short. And you can release that on Steam and release it for free, and you'll get like free games do great on Steam now. You can get like 10,000 to 100,000 downloads. And that can just to get your name out there. That's something a lot of people are doing. They release a game for free. They get an audience, which does all the marketing for you, and then they release their next game paid. Like, that's a great way to do it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Oh yeah, Robert's asking about Game Dev Unlocked. And Game Dev Unlocked, it's a bunch of cool YouTube videos. I'm going to be doing like a bunch of cool stuff, and I do free assets and workbooks on the website. But the next project I'm working on to help support my family and to pay the bills is I'm making an online school called Game Dev Unlocked. And it will be paid, and I've kind of delayed the launch. Like, it's almost done. There's like hours of content to teach you how to make a game, how to start from nothing and just release something and market it and have success. I put it off because of the pandemic, because I know people are kind of strapped for cash in this crazy time. But I've gotten a lot of emails from people saying, no, like, I've saved up a few dollars, like, I've saved up some money, like, I have all this time, please release it. So I might release it. I don't want to be insensitive to anybody, but yeah, if you guys are interested, I'm going to be doing a beta launch, and it will be paid. But I hope there's gonna be like a bunch of free games and free assets and workbooks and hours of video. So if you're really serious about starting a game, it's like everything I've learned in one source. So yeah, I think it's going to come out in a couple weeks. So sign up for the newsletter on GameDevUnlocked.com. That's where there's a link in the description of this video, and that'd be awesome. And I give on the email list, I don't spam. I just send like useful articles and free asset packs. And once in a while, I'll be like, hey, there's a coupon code if you want to buy the course. But yeah, you don't have to. I'm gonna keep doing YouTube. YouTube's really cool. I've always had a dream of getting like a YouTube following. I just started, but we'll see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm really bad at the camera. Like I've told you guys, it's really uncomfortable for me. Okay, did Unity support you in any way? They retweeted a lot, and they were just so nice. I love the guys at Unity, and I'm not like directly friends with any of them, but they'd find my stuff and they would post about it. They haven't like advertised it on their official website before, but they've tweeted it out and posted on social media a lot. So yeah, Unity guys are awesome. They're gonna try to support me in Game Dev Unlocked, like on the paid online course. So that's pretty cool. They want to help out and teach people. Okay, did you show how to work with Unity in some video? I want to do some Unity tutorials like this, not this week, next week. I have a really awesome video idea. I'm gonna make it. It won't be a live stream. I'm gonna record it, so I'm gonna do Unity tutorials. I think you guys will like it. What do you want people's first thoughts and intentions to be of the game? I don't know. It's personal. Like a lot of the game is it's vague and abstract on purpose because I want them to take what they want from it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess I just want to, if anything, I wanted to give them a sense of hope, and that even like in a time of loss, whether it's right now or like it's later in life, it's something everyone goes through, and that death is a part of life, and it doesn't have to be the end in a way. It's like Lion King, where Mufasa says, Simba learns that Mufasa lives in him. I don't know. Disney movies get way more emotional when you have kids, because now like my little girl watches these movies. I'm like, man, this is so deep, but I didn't think it was deep as a kid. Anyway, that's what I want them to think. Yeah. Hey man, what games do you usually love playing during free time? Like I said, like I consider myself a hardcore gamer, but I'm like, I've had to grow up. I've just grown up, which means I have less free time because I work full time and I have kids. Like that is the game changer when you have kids and you get maybe an hour of free time a day. So that doesn't leave me time to become like a League of Legends champion. Like I can't practice that much. But I do love like all kinds of games. Like I love the Stalker games. They're one of my favorites. I love Zelda. I love Breath of the Wild. I love Skyrim. I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order right now, which I like. Animal Crossing. But now, like nowadays, since I'm older and I have less time, I love these short story-driven games. Like I loved What Remains of Edith Finch was like one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. And then I loved Inside. That's one of my top 3 games of all time now. So yeah, I love those kind of games. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing tutorials online. Yeah, the school will be a one-time payment, and it'll be like lifetime membership, and it will be like I've spent so much time and money. Like I've bought all these Steam keys for students to use as homework, and I've hired programmers to help build the system. So I feel like it's a premium product. But if you guys really want to gain access, but you're kind of falling on hard times and you can't afford it, then just talk to me. Just send me an email. I'll definitely help you guys out however I can. You are like the elite 31 concurrent viewers. But yeah, this will be a replay as well. People can watch this. Just talk to me. I want to help people out. Ariel asked, did you think to quit at some point? Oh yeah, like I hated my game by the end of it. Like the last 6 months, it was horrible to work on, but what kept me going was it wasn't passion, because passion fades. It was discipline. It was just I knew I had to work on my game every night because that was my schedule. Like I worked on my game every night for an hour or 2 a night. And it was discipline that got me to the finish line, not passion. passion fades fast, and that's why so many developers, like, they don't finish their projects. You need a schedule. You need like to be strict to some certain extent. Like, don't burn yourself out. But yeah, after the first tree was done, I was burnt out. Then I took a break. Brucey Bears says, I'm stuck trying to figure out what to focus on right now. I mainly do 3D game art and animation. No idea what styles to focus on or to make games as well. I'm all over the place. So this is hard because making a game, it's like a Venn diagram of, like, imagine 3 circles, and the game you want to make is in the middle of those 3 circles, like a Venn diagram. And those 3 circles, like the first circle would be like games you want to make, games you can make, and then games that will make money. And the perfect answer, like the most perfect idea, is in the middle of those. And for me, like, I'm kind of lucky because I like simple story-driven exploration games. Like, I loved Dear Esther, which, again, that game was made by like 1 or 2 guys. And so it's hard to tell you, like, if you love MMOs, like you love like World of Warcraft, like, you got to be realistic and say, like, no, you can't. You're a team of 1. This is your first game. You cannot make an MMO. You probably can't even make an RPG. You probably can't make, I don't know, like a huge first-person shooter game like Doom Eternal. You need to find one of those games that you really like, that you love, and you need to just, like, pick one part of it. Just one part of it, the game. Like, if you love Animal Crossing but you want to make a game like Animal Crossing, I'd say that's too big. What if you just made a game that was just the fishing from Animal Crossing? That's the whole game. Then that's possible. So think about the games that you love to play, and if it's too big by itself, then just take one tiny chunk out, and then that can be the game you make. But yeah, there's a lot of answers to that question. Okay, yeah, I saw the Stalker trailer, or like the image, Stalker 2, which I'm dying to play that. Like, I'm gonna play that the first day it comes out. I can't wait. Thank you, IVE Fox. Greetings from the United States to Poland. Thanks for playing my game. Which games gave you inspiration for the first tree? Definitely Journey, the PlayStation game. And like that network connectivity part at the end, it's like it was direct inspiration from Journey, how you're playing with other players but you don't know it. Like that had an impact on me when I first played it. And then Firewatch, for sure. I just love the human element of that. Because Journey, there's no dialogue, which is cool in its own right. I think that's powerful. But for me personally, I wanted to focus on the human element. So yeah, I loved Firewatch. Yeah, and then Gone Home inspired the first tree, like exploring a house. In this case, you're exploring a landscape. But yeah, you explore a house kind of like Gone Home at the end. Yeah, I love Night in the Woods. I love, like, just the writing. Like, there's no voice acting in it either. It's just great writing. And you just get so, like, invested in these people. And I think that works because of the writing. And, of course, like, the visuals are awesome. I love the visuals. But, yeah, I love Night in the Woods. Sometimes I think, instead of doing, like, voice acting, I think I should just do text. It sounds tempting. Because Night in the Woods did amazing. And it was just a great story. Actually, I didn't finish it. I got like almost to the end and then I got distracted. I need to finish Night in the Woods. Man, I met the dev behind he's the programmer, the composer of Night in the Woods. Alex? I forgot his first name, but I met him at PAX, and then he recently committed suicide, which was really sad. So I hope his family's doing okay. Yeah, if any of you are mentally unwell, like, get help, talk to somebody. You can talk to me too if you guys aren't doing too great. But yeah, that Night in the Woods developer, he's really talented. But yeah, he had some inner demons, I think. Yeah, so there's a song list for the first tree on the Steam forums. So it's a pinned message. It says like soundtrack list. And because I licensed the music, like I was talking about using stock music and stuff. Yeah, be sure to check out those individual songs. You can support the artist that way and buy the songs individually off Bandcamp. And then I also have a Spotify playlist. So if you search for the first tree on Spotify, you should find it. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up things soon. How about this? I'll take this last question. Were there any points during the development of the game where you wanted to add something to the game but couldn't due to the lack of experience? And if so, did it make you want to do something about it? Oh yeah, there was. I think I have the commentary mode in the game, and I think I even make the joke about all the water in the game is like knee height. You can't swim in it, you can just wade in it. And I did that just because I worked for hours trying to get swimming to work, and I just couldn't. It was something I had to give up on. I really wanted swimming, like I had the animations for it, and the player controller supported it. And it was too janky, and it was really glitchy, and you couldn't like jump out of the water. It was bad. So yeah, I wanted the fox to swim in puddles of water and stuff. And after that, I just said, you know what? I got to finish the game. I got to go to work tomorrow morning. I can't like kill myself just to add swimming. The essence of the game will still be intact if there's not swimming. So I just cut it out. I cut out the swimming. Yeah, I think having that ability to pivot as a developer and a creative, being honest with yourself of what you can or can't accomplish, I think that's a good sign of success, of like being able to finish products and release them, because you need to like make stuff and send it to people, and like people want to play it. They can't play a game that's unfinished on your hard drive though. So you have to make a decision and just stick with it and finish it. And it's worth it. Like I'm proof of that. Like I'm glad, even though my game wasn't perfect, I decided to release it. And I was able to improve it later, and I was able to improve it before consoles. But yeah, I encourage you guys to make a game and finish it. And even if it's super small, if it's a 5 to 10 minute game, that can like make such an impact on people. Like shorter doesn't have to be bad. Like it can be a really great strength too. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thanks guys for all these great questions. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brian, you're going through a hard time, but yeah, just hang in there. You can email me too if you want. But yeah, it's crazy times now, but we just need to support each other, use a creative outlet like making games. And yeah, it can be worth it. So thanks guys. I appreciate all the questions.